What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the all-new 2025 Chevrolet Equinox. This one is an all-wheel drive RS. Now, was I wrong about this crossover? Last time I drove one, it was the front-wheel drive version, which only gives you a CVT. This has an 8-speed automatic, and of course the all-wheel drive. And already, this is a lot nicer, much better than the front-wheel drive in my own personal opinion. I feel like this is more my taste for what this vehicle should be. So maybe I was a little too harsh the first time around. This car is starting to warm up to me, and I think it's a lot better than I initially thought. So if I can find that hood latch, popping the engine, you are gonna see the 1.5 liter inline 4-cylinder turbo motor. This has 175 horsepower with 203 pound-feet of torque. Like I said, 8-speed automatic and all-wheel drive. With all that, you're gonna get a 15.6 gallon fuel tank, 24 mpg on the city, 29 in the highway. Curb weight's around 3,600 pounds, and it can tow 1,500 pounds. Now for the headlights, they look pretty cool. If I hit the unlock button, you can see your turn signal as well as the running light, and then your actual headlight beams are down here with fog lights underneath. I like the blacked out housings, pretty cool design. This looks like a mini Traverse, so really nice looking overall. Got the black bow tie, forward facing camera, RS badge, blacked out grille with active grille shutters. Just a little bit of the plastic material, the rest is nice and painted gloss. A little bit of red accent, and then more shutters down below with cooling for the intercooler. So overall, it's a good looking crossover. I think it's definitely very aggressive, very muscular looking. The hood has some cool contours throughout it as well. Especially in the Radiant Red color, this thing is really nice at $40,000. You're gonna see a split spoke design for the wheels with some contrast color. They're also 19-inch diameter. That plastic makes its way to the fender arches as well as the lower side skirt. Blacked out Equinox badge, and then blacked out for the side mirrors with an integrated camera. Got your body color door handles, and then a blacked out roof with the trim all around the windows. You're gonna see also the black on the roof rails, panoramic sunroof, and then I like how this third window looks. Just a really cool design overall. I think the side profile fits, and it just really looks proportional. In back, you're gonna get a nice set of LED taillights once again. Really aggressive design, integrated spoiler with the third brake light and a camera. Blacked out bow tie, and then some gloss trim along with just a little bit of plastic. There's also parking sensors, all of your badging. When you do stand here for a little bit, it will automatically open up the lift gate, which is a pretty cool touch. So nice to have that extra addition. Now with the seats split like this, you can see what kind of cargo space you're gonna get behind the second row seating. You can also open this up, and there's a nice cargo tray for extra storage. Beneath that, you are gonna get a donut size spare tire. So not too bad for sure. From back here, you can easily fold these seats down too to maximize all of your cargo space. And then of course we can just press that button and automatically close. Moving on to the interior, you're gonna see how nice and flat that is. Pretty good cargo space, and very easily we can lift these up. Now this is gonna get a synthetic leather interior finish in the black with red accents. You have this nice vinyl material on the armrests, and you can see the red and blue stitching. For the seating surfaces, you have more of the red accents with the red and blue stitching, perforations, smooth leather material, and a nice bench seat. In the center, you can even fold this down, and you have a nice armrest with cup holders. There are air vents back here and heated seats, extra storage space. You have the lever up here to pull these down. And then at 5'11", sitting in this back, I do sit here pretty good with the driver's seat at my height. Plenty of leg room. The seat itself is very comfortable and padded, just a little short for my legs, I would say. So, not the best back seat in the world, but honestly, far from the worst. You have a nice panoramic sunroof with a huge shade up here. Pretty good amount of glass. This is a little big, so a little hindrance over your left side. But overall, I'd say it's a pretty good back seat for what it is. Now, moving on to the driver's seat. You can tap the button right here to automatically lock or unlock it. Door panels finished off just like we saw in back. There is memory seating, all of those controls right here. And then of course power controls and the same materials all throughout these driver seats. You got RS up on the headrest as well, and a cool flat bottom steering wheel with all this red accent throughout the interior. And then got a cool display. Let's fire it up. So we have the red stitching, the RS logo. Of course it will chime if your seatbelt's not on when you first start it. Now, one thing interesting, the drivetrain select is over here. So you pull this back and down for drive, pull it back and up for reverse. Park button is right there. Low range is over here on the steering wheel, which is a little interesting. And then there's buttons underneath them for volume and tuning. You have some cruise control settings and then some interior audio controls, as well as our screen. We got a full screen nav. We can also toggle that one. See a few more things, more simple, and then back to where we were. You can toggle the right side as well, see a few more things. Now on the turn signal stock over here, you do have all your windshield wiper controls. This silver button will actually do the squirter on the glass, so sometimes when you're doing your turn signal, your windshield wipers are gonna go off. So that's also a little interesting. We have our parking brake, all-wheel drive control, as well as the auto hold and auto start. Air vent looks nice, and then some soft touch material with this cool vinyl, and I love how this fades into the red. Now the infotainment screen, basically what you would expect. We do have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with Google Assistant. We have a few more toggles you can go into, audio controls, nav, and then a few more settings up above. Going into reverse, you have a nice top-down view, forward view, rear view. This will all change depending on what you want to look at. So overall, definitely a good camera system for the price point. And then tapping the P button, we're back into park. Climate control vents, and then all the climate controls are down here. I like how these are physical controls, makes it pretty easy. We have heated and ventilated seating, storage all down below with USB ports. You can fit 2 phones in here for the wireless charger. You're also going to get extra cup holders, more storage. Drive select, mainly for off-road and off-pavement. So you can see just a few settings that you're going to get. And then there's even more storage all underneath. Armrest has that cool vinyl with stitching. And then opening that up, we have extra space. This is a little wobbly, so that's a little interesting. But then we have a large glove box on the right side. And then one last look at the interior. Overall, it's a really cool interior. Only a little bit of hard plastics, but everything else is a nice soft touch. We also got a digital rear view camera, and then all these sunshade controls and roof controls. So just tapping that once, we can automatically pop that. We have the glass control, slide and tilt. Sunglass holder too, and then a nice sun visor. All right, setting off now in the Equinox. So when you're in the low range, by tapping that icon, you can use the paddles. Needless to say, this is no sports car, and you probably are only ever going to use that if you're on a steep mountain drive or something to where you just need to hold a better gear. But generally, you'll pretty much never use low or the paddles. So normal driving, the ride quality is actually pretty good. Now when I drove the front wheel drive CVT one, I just didn't quite like it. It just felt way too loose. This still has a lot of body roll, like that is very wobbly. However, the transmission delivers the power way better. I think this is just much more my taste of a car. Ride quality is really smooth. While it does have that body roll, it is very comfortable going over the bumps. You just don't feel anything. The seats also have really good padding in them to where this is a pretty nice ride. It's quiet too. You don't really hear any wind noise or road noise. Visibility's all really good. Both mirrors will actually even dip when you're in reverse. And then over your right and left shoulder, not too bad. That seat pillar is a little bit big by the back seats, but overall I'd say visibility is pretty nice to see around. Using the technology, I think it looks really good. The center screen looks awesome, of course, with the full screen nav you can pop up. You have a little bit more simple design. So all that looks nice and premium. Center screen, like all GMs, looks really good. The Google Assistant works well to do your navigation, radio, things like that. And I love how we have physical climate controls with the ventilated seats. Most cars are going into everything's in the screen, which I think is an awful trend. So I'm really, really happy about these buttons. One drawback, the left climate button, you do have to kind of look around the steering wheel to see. I don't know if the camera shows it, but I have to look every time to see what that temperature is at. So if you're doing the dual zone where your driver's is different, you might have to fight that a little bit just looking around it. But overall though, it drives nice. Hitting those train tracks, I mean, it's solid. Build quality feels pretty good. Most of the interior is a nice soft touch material. You only have this panel as a hard piece, and then this is a little wobbly. Other than those two things, everything else feels really nice for the price point. So I really don't have many complaints with this. I'm liking this a lot more than I expected, and I feel like it's a pretty comfortable, good, normal crossover, but has a cool style inside out to make it feel above and beyond.